Hello Team Phoenix and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is your girl Catherine Minor. Please call me Kate Mimi. If you haven't been to this channel, I'm a registered nurse in the United Kingdom from Kenya, and I use this channel to do two things. One is health education, which we do on Mondays, and any other day we just talk issues that matter to healthcare workers, especially nurses and the other cadres that are registered by the HCPC in the United Kingdom. So you've been asking me questions about housing in the United Kingdom, where is the best place to live in, and such other matters. I have taken them together and I've called them things I wish I knew about before I left Kenya. So feel free, relax, sit back, and let's talk about this stuff, shall we? You caught me. See, I'm going through my YouTube channel and I can see that you are at 500 subscribers, and oh my gosh, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, a massive thank you, because I have less than 20 videos and I can see that you believe in me, you believe in the content that I have. And if you've not subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do so, because it's amazing. It is a very, very good thing for you to do that. We do health education on Monday, and then any other day it's all about healthcare workers. Now, you already know that I'm a nurse from Kenya. So what are these things that I wish I knew as a nurse before I left Kenya? Number one is you're going to be all right, ladies and gentlemen. You will be fine. Team Phoenix, mtakuwa sawa. It doesn't matter what is your motivation for leaving Kenya, but I want you to know that you will be okay. It will not be easy, probably because you don't have a family like myself. You don't have a family when you're coming to the United Kingdom, or you don't have family members or friends who are in the United Kingdom. It's just you, the African Son, and the Lord Jesus up above, you know. You will be fine. That's all that you need. You'll be okay. If I've managed, then you will. The other thing that you need to realize is that the United Kingdom is comprised of 4 states, not counting the other Channel Islands. That is England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales. You need to realize that Northern Ireland is different from the Republic of Ireland. So there are 2 main places where most people go to, and that is England or Scotland. Myself, I came to Scotland. I've been here for 2 years and some 2 years and some months now. I've been here and it has been amazing, really. Yes, time has come for me to say goodbye to this place. It's okay. That's a conversation for another day. But I would be lying if I didn't say the truth. And the truth is, this place has been home for me. Scotland is a little bit relaxed. It's laid back. If you can put up with the accent, that will be amazing. It is difficult initially because there is the influence of the Gaelic language, but you'll be okay, really. Remember my first point, you're going to be absolutely fine. And this is the place where you come and realize that speaking English is not a measure of intelligence. Speaking English while having an English accent or an American accent is actually not a measure of intelligence. And it is good for you to realize that, because the Scots speak English proudly with their accents, and it is a very good thing. So never feel afraid, never feel like you don't speak proper English, as if unangoa. No, ngoa kabisa. You know, as long as you can be heard and you can communicate, uko tu sawa as a nurse. Okay, that's the other thing you'll need to realize. So it is the same system everywhere. That is in Scotland, in Northern Ireland, in England, and in Wales. But you will realize that England is the main, you know, it is like the center of everything, because the Prime Minister is there, all the government offices are there. But health becomes a devolved function. You know, it becomes a devolved function. So each of the 4 states, they try to run things semi-autonomously. For example, in Scotland, we don't pay for prescriptions when we go to the hospital, but in England, they tend to pay, I think, around £10 per script. The other thing is, nursing is a hard work. Oh, baby, you have no idea how much hard work nursing is, especially nursing the bedside or direct patient care. You will realize this because you are trying to live up to the standards that are set. And I think United Kingdom sort of makes you appreciate the kind of training that you underwent. I trained in one of the best schools in Kenya. Big shout out to Nazareth Medical College. we had some serious nursing training. And when you come to the United Kingdom, actually is when you start putting some of those things into practice. Why? Because back home we were mad with a lot of inadequacy of resources. So we ended up not practicing some of the things that we learned in class. And then here you are, you know, you meet these fascinating machines and fascinating systems and different ways of even drawing blood from patients' arms, and you become overwhelmed. That does not mean that you don't know what you're doing as a nurse. It just means that the system is fascinating, that the system is quite new, and you will need to be patient with yourself. I want you to realize that. Be patient with yourself, be patient with your friends, be patient with your colleagues, and learn. If anybody is trying to push you, please let them know that you're here to learn. Which drives me to my other point. Because of this risk of being discriminated, remember that it is a very fast-moving system. Okay, it is quite fast-moving. Busy in our hospital right here. It is quite busy, so people will want you to learn quite fast. But then again, remember, if you're trying to hurry up the process of learning, you might end up making mistakes. And when you make mistakes, ignorance is not defense. Ignorance and lack of training, these two things will make you lose your pin. Now, United Kingdom is not like Kenya. It is very hard for a Kenyan nurse to be deregistered in the country. It is quite easy in the United Kingdom for you to be deregistered. And once you're deregistered, it means that you've lost your pin. And why are you in the United Kingdom again? You're going to be deported, isn't it? So you need to be very careful. This process of transition, this process of learning new things, you know, these new competencies, because they call them competencies. For example, even if you know how to administer medication, you cannot just start administering in the United Kingdom. You will need to be taken through a process where you are shadowing a qualified nurse, and then you will be assessed on the same. So these are what we call competencies. Even drawing blood from patients' veins, you're going to be assessed. Myself, as a registered renal nurse in Kenya, I had to undergo competencies to be able to start doing dialysis for patients here. And it is not like it is something I don't know, but it is a totally different system. So be patient with yourself. If you're taking a longer time to adapt, please let your trainer know, let your clinical educator know, and let them give you time. Let the nurses that you're dealing with know that this is a new system and you're going to take time for you to learn. Realize who you are. Myself, I'm not a fast learner. I have to admit that to myself. I'm not a fast learner, especially when it comes to practical things. You will need to show me twice before I actually grasp the concept that you're telling me. So if you're expecting me to understand it via the first demonstration, and then you assess me with the second demonstration, I will disappoint you. And you might end up labeling me as a bad nurse. But the thing is, my style of learning is I need to do it and then redo it, okay? I need to see it again and then do it. And then now you can come and assess me. So that's it. Learn your system, learn who you are, and ride with it. The other thing you will need to realize, especially for nurses, you cannot survive in the United Kingdom without a union. I will say this, and I've said it in different forums. You must belong to a union. A union in the United Kingdom is not like the unions we left back home. They are quite different. They are quite professional. They are quite strong. They are, their voices can be heard. I will recommend the Royal College of Nursing because it is one of the biggest unions in the United Kingdom, and also a professional association. The other thing with the RCN is that it is not just about the union. It is also about your professional development as a nurse. And the other thing is, they came through for me when I really needed them at some point in my journey here, and I really recommend them. Please subscribe. It is quite easy online. Join a union because you will need it. The other thing that I wish I knew was actually about housing. Housing in the United Kingdom is quite expensive. Let nobody lie to you. But then again, it depends with where you're going to stay or where you're going to live. If you're going to be in city, for example, I live in Edinburgh. Man, this place is expensive. It is actually the living cost of Edinburgh is almost like the living cost in London. I mean, the housing cost in Edinburgh is almost like the housing cost in London. Why? Because it's the capital city of Scotland. London is the capital city of England. So that's what happens. I wish I knew, because I could have stayed away from the city and then relied on public transport, because public transport in the United Kingdom is quite reliable, and especially if you're in England or London and her environs, you will find that there's the tube, we have the overground, we have trains, we have trams, we have buses all the time, so you will find it's quite easy. But then again, there's always one thing I cherish. I always try to live near where I work. Wherever I am in the world, I always try to live near my workplace, because I hate waking up early in the morning. So I want, if I'm reporting at 7 to work, I need to wake up like an hour or so earlier, but not like 3 hours earlier. That is when I am trying to go and catch the bus. So I don't know what will work for you, but make sure that you consider that. The other thing you can do is rent a bed seat. That is like a studio apartment there, or you can do flat share. When it comes to flat sharing, please investigate before you go blindly into an apartment. Some hospitals actually have key worker accommodation. You might want to ask about that before you come over. So talk to your employer, know about housing. Those are some of the things that I wish I knew. The other thing that I wish I knew was actually about the dating scene. Haha, the dating scene. Look, if you're a single girl like myself, live in Kenya, I would really advise that you go to a city that is vibrant. Edinburgh, I'm sorry, but I have to say no to you right now. Edinburgh is quite, what do I say? It's so bourgeois, I have to admit. It's a very expensive, yeah, kwa masos. So the thing is, it tends to be laid back, and families thrive here. So even when I go to a pub, for example, or you go to church, you're finding that most of your colleagues are actually families. You're like, oh, everyone is taken. Anyway, about the dating scene, I would rather somebody went to a different city. I know how that sounds. I'd rather, I don't know, also invest in online dating. I know I should be telling myself this, but I'm just so old school. Online dating and me go this way. Yeah, like this. Online dating this way, Catherine this way. So we just can't. But maybe it will work for you, so go for it. About social events, it is quite difficult, especially with COVID, but then again, things have started opening up, and that is a very beautiful thing. Try and go for social events, really, otherwise you're going to end up single, for the rest of your life. It's so easy to remain single in the UK, by the way. Unaenda kazi, unarudi kwa nyumba, unajifungia. By the way, like me, that's how I live. Work, house. Yes, and I hide from people, but I've made a decision not to hide anymore. So wish me luck. So try and go for social events, whichever they are. Look online. There's always something happening somewhere, and list and go. You will need to use your voice as a nurse when you come here, because people will try to look down upon you. Some people can be quite passive aggressive, and some are aggressive. Others are quite condescending, and that makes you feel bad as a nurse, to find people not including you in whatever is happening, to be in a workplace where you're feeling that you're not part of the main event. It is like you are an onlooker. That thing makes people feel bad. I've had a nurse actually go back to her country. She came from Jamaica, and she stayed just a while, and she told me, Catherine, I'm gone. And she went back. I know that it was difficult for her to fit in. I tried talking to her and letting her know that she can do better in another place, but she was quite determined to go back. The thing is, you will have to prove yourself. It's interesting, but when it comes to interacting with people, you'll have to prove yourself. The other thing that might help you in this is actually having a journal, have a notebook, and note things down as they are happening, because people might try to push you to accept mistakes that have happened, even when you are not even part of the scene. Please don't rush into writing statements. Always contact your union. I've said this so many times, I feel like I'm repeating myself. Contact your union before you write a statement. If an incident occurs at work, please escalate that matter according to the laid down escalation policy of your employer. Please don't fear speaking out. There are some duties that are specifically not for nurses, but some people will try and force you to do them. And this is especially for you who will come and work in care homes. I'm saying this because I've been there, and it was actually quite a source of kerfuffle in my past, because I was trying to argue, this is not my job description, but somebody comes and tells you, no, this is what we have always done. So it is up to you to stand your ground and say, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm not doing. And you have to stop being afraid. Really, nurses, you have to stop being afraid. I know maybe you are used to your voice being shushed down. Maybe you're used to speaking out and then you're victimized. Maybe you're used to speaking out and then you're transferred. I know that was the way things used to happen back home. But I want you to realize that United Kingdom has laws and policies that work for everybody, employees and employers. There is a no bullying policy and there is a no victimization policy in each and every company or public employer. So you need to use this. You need to use these channels. Fear, ladies and gentlemen, fear is an enemy's best weapon. If you're afraid, you will not think. If you're afraid, you will not act. If you're afraid, your brain just goes into a shutdown. But if you're not afraid, you'll be able to speak out and even articulate whatever it is that is going on with you. And you'll be able to speak out and say, this is how things are supposed to be and this is how they are, and I'm not happy here. Okay? Please do not be afraid. I'll keep saying that because I've come to realize that most of you who reach out to me with different problems in the United Kingdom, you're actually just afraid of speaking out. It is fine, but you have to do away with fear. One way or the other, you have to stop being afraid, okay? The other thing that you will have to do when you come to the United Kingdom is to accept that mistakes can happen anytime as a nurse, and what you will need to do is be honest about it. Please never, ever lie. Never lie. Never lie when mistakes occur. Never try to cover yourself. There is something called duty of candor. That means that whenever a mistake happens, you must own it up, okay? Sometimes mistakes happen because of the systems that are in place. And when these mistakes happen, they are actually opportunities for us to learn and to realize what we can do next time. So even if something went wrong, please don't be afraid. Reach out to your union, and that is why I'm insisting you must belong to a union. Be honest with what happened at work and let them guide you. And this is to also emphasize on the fact that you need a notebook. You need to write things down as they are occurring, because you can't rely on your memory, unfortunately, because our memory with time tends to distort things. They distort things to fit our narrative or our assertion for that matter. So you will need to write things down so that you can remember them and you can actually go ahead and articulate them, okay? Yes, those are some of the things that I wish I knew. The other thing was about schooling. It is so easy for you to study when you're in the United Kingdom. You can upgrade from a diploma to a degree, and you will do it purely online if you want. That means that you'll get your degree online. I'm a living example. I came with a diploma and I've just completed my BSN. Yay! Happy dance, happy dance, happy dance. So graduation in November. So you will need to upgrade your education. The other thing that you can do if you don't have the money is actually undergo the short courses that your unit will be providing. Each and every unit, especially in the NHS, each and every department always has money for training. I want you to find out what opportunities are there in the department that you've been employed in and make use of them, okay? The other thing that you'll need to do if you have a BSN from Kenya, number one, congratulations for having a BSN. Next, what do you want to do? What masters are you interested in? And these masters are very affordable if only you're willing to put in the work. And the other thing you can do is actually approach your union, and I will talk about RCN again, the Royal College of Nursing. They have a very good grant system where you can apply for a grant and then you can be taken care of in terms of your masters. I wish I knew when I was studying for my BSN, because I know I could have applied, but not yet. Anyway, probably for my masters. probably for my master's, who knows. About transportation, transport in the United Kingdom, we had talked about it. Is it easy for you to buy a car? It is quite easy because cars are quite affordable. But I don't understand the obsession of United Kingdom with manual cars. There are so many manual cars, to be sincere, and so few automatic cars. So automatic cars tend to be expensive. Even when you're doing a driving test, you're looking for an instructor for your automatic car, it's quite expensive compared to the manual ones. I don't like manual cars. I want automatic. Anyway, that's it. The other thing is about religion. Most of us are Christians or Muslims. You will find that there is quite an apathy in the United Kingdom towards religion. I am sorry, but that is the truth. So it feels like Europe evangelized Africa, but Africa will need to evangelize Europe at some point. It's so complicated. I don't know what's their beef with God, by the way. I don't know. So you'll find that it's people are not active Christians or active Muslims, for that matter. I actually used to think it's just a matter of Christianity, but it is also even about Islam, the Islam religion, and other religions as well. So you will need to find out for yourself what church you want to attend. Always look on Google. You will find that the main churches are actually Church of England, Church of Scotland, this Presbyterian Church, Episcopal Church, and such. So you will want to find a church that is near you, a community where you can belong. I would say don't look for only churches that have majority of Africans in them. You want diversity. So please try and interact with people from all races. The church that I go to is actually predominantly white, but we have a lot of Africans there, and never have I ever felt out of place. It is a Bible-believing church, and it is a very nice place for us to worship in. So you look for a place, look for a church or a mosque, just belong, okay? Make sure you belong. Do not allow your faith to be eroded by what you're going to find here. Okay, the other thing I have to mention is actually about pubs. You see, in Kenya, we have so many social events, isn't it? We have Kamweredho, we have what is it called in Kalenjin? Is it Koto, something? The Kamweredho version in Kalenjin, I forgot, Quito. The thing is, we also have different things that are always going on. However, in the United Kingdom, people socialize in pubs. So do not ever fault anybody for going to pubs. Myself, I am a Christian and I go to a pub. And I keep going all the time because I want to meet people. I want to meet new people. How else am I going to meet them? Because people in the United Kingdom will be afraid of speaking to you because of things like the Sexual Harassment Act, things like that. So somebody is afraid of speaking to you. Somebody cannot even compliment you unless they get to know you because they don't know how you're going to take it, isn't it? So when you're in a pub, everyone is chill, everyone is just doing their own thing, and it is important for you to have a local pub where you just go to chill if you don't have a group of friends. The other thing is Kenyans are interesting in the United Kingdom because we are all busy. Everybody is busy. Please do not expect that you can meet people all the time. Always ask them if you want to meet up. It is not a wonder for me to stay in the same city here and not meet my friends who are within Edinburgh, or even plan to meet them and then fail to meet them because, man, we have to work, isn't it? So open up yourself. Do not stay in a shell. I know I'm saying this, and I should have told this to myself when I came here, because I've been in a shell for the past 1 year and some months. Yes, I've been in a shell where I've not opened myself to meeting people, and when they try to meet me, I run away. Anyway, the thing is, you'll have to open up yourself, and you will need to know that you cannot survive alone. You need people, okay? You need people. When it comes to food, you can survive in the United Kingdom with just what is offered here. We have variety of vegetables, we have variety of fruits, we have variety of starches and stuff like that. So you're going to be able to afford to survive even without ugali. So I'm saying this because it takes time, especially if you're in a city like Edinburgh, for you to come across an African shop. I know other cities have shops, African shops where you can go in and buy chapati, for example, or, maize flour or things like that. But what I'm trying to say is you can easily do without ugali. So don't tense at all. Don't tense. You can also walk to an Indian shop or shops that are run by people from the Asian community. You're going to find that most of their food actually look like our food in Africa. So you're always going to find something that you will resonate with. So don't worry too much about that. If you have special dietary restrictions, you will find that United Kingdom is very friendly because we have lots of oat milk, we have coconut milk, almond milk, and all those other special milk, that do not have lactose. If you want things without gluten, like wheat-free products, there are a lot of them, and they are not insanely expensive like they are in Kenya. They are quite affordable, so you will be fine as far as diet goes. Okay, wish you all the best, really. And now, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to send money home after coming over. Okay, you need to send money for different bills. I know that nobody leaves Kenya because they have a lot of money, isn't it? You need to send money maybe for schooling, maybe for your siblings or your children, I don't know. You need to send money for maybe hospital for somebody. You need medication for somebody back home. You need to send money. And how are you going to send this money? You're going to use Tap Tap Send. Tap Tap Send is this wonderful app that you're going to download from your Play Store. And what happens with Tap Tap Send is that for £1, you can get, the rates are always higher than all the other apps that are available in the market. And they are quite reliable and they are fast, and their app never hangs, such that umetuma pesa but haijafika imehang tu kwa hewa. There's nothing like that with Tap Tap Send. The other thing is that when you use the code KATEMIMI254, KATEMIMI, CATEMIMI 254, 254, okay, 25, KATEMIMI 254, you're going to get £10 extra for that initial transaction. So come over here, let's earn some money and let's continue investing back home. Thank you.